Welcome to this explainer. Today, I'm going to be your virtual documentarian, taking you on a truly cinematic, immersive journey through Taronga Zoo. Now, if you've never been, just picture this, a world-class conservation hub, nestled right on the stunning foreshore of Sydney Harbour. You've got these breathtaking, sweeping views where the zoo is just beautifully set against the sparkling water, with the Opera House and Harbour Bridge right there in sharp focus. We're going to capture all the awe and wonder of this place while also getting you totally dialed in with the essential, fully updated logistical strategies you're going to need for the 2026 season. So, let's jump right in.
Okay, to really appreciate this place, we need to quickly rewind to the year 1916. The original Moore Park Zoo, which was way closer to the city center, had completely outgrown its tiny 15-acre site. So the Zoological Society acquires this massive new 28-hectare location, basically a steep, rugged bushland hillside across the water in Mosman. But that presented a literal logistical nightmare. I mean, think about it. How on earth do you transport hundreds of animals, including incredibly massive, heavy mammals, through a bustling city and then straight across the open water of Sydney Harbour?
Well, the press at the time actually dubbed it Operation Noah's Ark, and the absolute crowning moment of this unbelievable relocation was the journey of Jessie, the Asian elephant. To keep her calm, they literally walked her through the streets of Sydney right alongside two circus elephants. She marched all the way down to the harbour, was loaded onto a flat-top barge, shipped across the water, and then winched up onto that steep Mosman site using a massive crane. It totally captured Sydney's imagination. But more importantly, expanding to a site 4 times larger allowed Taronga to pioneer barless enclosures. They replaced traditional steel cages with naturalistic habitats, which honestly completely transformed the way we observe wildlife forever.
Section 1. The Ultimate Harbour Arrival.
So, fast forward to today. Taking that 12-minute public ferry ride from Circular Quay is absolutely still the most magical way to arrive. You literally watch the city skyline fade away as this lush, dense canopy of the zoo approaches. But here is a huge update for your 2026 arrival strategy. For decades, you could rely on the iconic Sky Safari gondola to glide right over the tree canopy up to the top entrance. Well, right now, the Sky Safari is closed. It's going through a massive $105 million upgrade to create a much more modern, fully accessible experience with larger gondolas, and it's actually not expected to reopen until at least 2027 or 2028.
Because of that, your new game plan absolutely has to be a top-to-bottom strategy. When you step off the ferry at Taronga Wharf, whatever you do, do not attempt to walk up that incredibly steep hill. Instead, immediately look for the Route 238 bus or the free school holiday shuttle. That'll drive you straight to the main entry at the very top. From there, you just walk downward. It is so much easier. You can comfortably meander down the winding paved trails, take in the exhibits, and enjoy those epic scenic viewpoints without completely exhausting yourself before noon.
Section 2. Immersive Wildlife Habitats. The moment you step through those top gates, it's like boom, you're instantly surrounded by these meticulously designed ecosystems. This is not just a random collection of animals. It's a series of highly immersive precincts that perfectly frame the harbour. You'll kick things off walking through Nuradaya, Australia, which comes from the Darug language meaning this country. It is stunning. You're spotting koalas, kangaroos, and wombats seamlessly intertwined with authentic First Nation storytelling. Then you wander over to the African savanna, look up, and there are these majestic giraffes towering right in front of the Sydney Opera House. It's surreal. You can practically press your nose against the glass at Tiger Trek to watch Sumatran tigers sleeping, or marvel at the sheer aquatic speed of the seals in the Great Southern Oceans Precinct.
Section 3. Live Action and Education. Now, all that quiet observation is beautifully balanced out by these highly energetic live-action moments. The zoo puts on over 16 daily keeper presentations and world-class educational shows. Picture the dramatic ascent of a raptor literally soaring across the sky with the Sydney skyline as its backdrop. It is wild. But listen up, because here is another mandatory 2026 update. For high-demand events, like the famous seal presentation, where rescued seals leap and interact with their trainers, you can't just rock up early and grab a seat anymore. During weekends and school holidays, you absolutely must secure a digital token using the Taronga app. They operate on a strict digital queuing system now. No QR code scan, no seat. It's that simple.
To make sure you don't miss out on any of this, let's run through some rapid-fire insider tips. First up, the entire zoo is 100% cashless. Make sure your digital wallet or card is ready to go for all the cafes and kiosks. Second, as we just mentioned, download that app before you even leave your hotel. Third, if you need a signal, the free Wi-Fi is strongest right up at the main entry top plaza, and the Taronga food market. But be warned, it totally drops off once you get down into the dense bushland trails. And finally, if you want to book those super limited first-come, first-served animal encounters, like getting up close with the little penguins or the giraffes, you need to be at the top plaza exactly at 9 a.m. when it opens.
Section 4. A force for conservation.
As captivating as the exhibits, the live shows, and those harbor views are, they're really just the public face of the whole operation. Behind the scenes, Taronga is an absolute powerhouse. It's a massive global conservation engine directly aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, specifically life on land and life below water. Literally everything you experience as a visitor is engineered to drive wildlife protection. They're working on the front lines of conservation across 17 different countries. They focus heavily on behavioral ecology and threatened species recovery, successfully breeding endangered species like the corabre frog and the region honeyeater, and giving them the crucial skills they need to actually survive when reintroduced into the wild.
To wrap your head around the sheer scale of what they do, just think about this number for a second. Over 5,000. The Sydney site alone provides expert, daily care for more than 5,000 animals across 350 different species. That is huge. And we're not just talking about throwing them some food. They are actively setting global industry benchmarks in wildlife healthcare, welfare, and complex behavioral enrichment.
But honestly, this next stat is even more critical, and it's something a lot of casual tourists don't even realize. Over 1,500. Taronga's on-site wildlife hospitals treat more than 1,500 sick, injured, and orphaned native animals every single year. From treating marine turtles rescued from the open ocean to saving platypuses impacted by severe droughts and bushfires, their veterinary teams are basically operating a world-class wildlife ER around the clock.
Section 5. Sunset and starlight stays.
Now, as the afternoon winds down, you'll see the day visitors heading back to the ferries, and the city skyline across the water starts twinkling as the evening lights come on. But guess what? The zoo doesn't go to sleep, and you don't actually have to leave. Taronga offers these profoundly intimate overnight stays that connect you directly with their conservation work. You'd basically got two wildly different ways to fall asleep to the sounds of the animals. Option 1 is Roar and Snore, which is this incredibly adventurous harborside glamping experience. Option 2 is the Wildlife Retreat, a stunning luxury eco-stay that includes the gorgeous Meagle restaurant. The retreat even gives you exclusive sanctuary access, meaning you can peacefully walk among sleepy koalas and echidnas in the crisp morning air before the public gates even open. And ultimately, here is the why behind it all. Every single ticket you buy, every flat white you grab at the food market, every overnight stay, it all directly funds their core mission to create conservation advocates that value wildlife, speak up for nature, and take action. So just by visiting, you're literally transforming a really fun day out into a tangible, vital contribution to global wildlife recovery. It's a total win-win.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, just picture the sun dropping right behind the harbor bridge. The water is glowing, the city lights are coming alive, and you are leaving with this lasting impression of absolute wonder. We want to leave you with this final thought. How will your journey through Taronga change the way you see the wild? Thank you so much for exploring with us today, and we hope this helps you go out and craft the absolute perfect adventure for your 2026 visit.